Hello everyone and welcome to this tutorial video on the organizational capacity assessment for the Ignite project. I am so happy you are watching this video. I will be sharing different information, but first of all, let me reintroduce myself for those who I haven't met. A few weeks ago when we had the meeting all together. I am Camille. I am the organizational capacity consultant for Ignite. This is a photo of me on the right. It's non-contractual. It was taken 5 years ago. I had a baby since then. Okay, so this tutorial will cover different things. We will see together what the Organizational Capacity Assessment Tool, or OCAT, is, why we are using it in Ignite, how to use it and how you can get support, but also what is going to happen next after you take the OCAT. Okay, let's get started. What is the OCAT? Organizational Capacity Assessment Tool. So it's a self-assessment tool. It's something that you can do for yourself, your organization. It's a way to reflect on the internal capacity of your organization tool. It helps organization really reflect on their internal capacity across key organizational areas. It helps organization identify strength and areas of improvement. It helps set priorities. And ultimately, it helps build a roadmap or an action plan for internal capacity strengthening. What the OCAT isn't, it is not an audit or an evaluation. It's not a test. It's just meant to support you in understanding where you are now and where your organization would like to improve and where your organization chooses to prioritize a capacity building action or not. The results will be aggregated from all Ignite respondents, and they will not determine any future funding from any of the Ignite partners. Okay, so why and when to use it? Why? It's a little bit of what we saw before. You can use it when you need to identify strengths or gaps in your organization, when you want to prioritize areas for growth. It also facilitates capacity sharing and peer learning because you can identify areas where you're really strong in and areas where you can share with your peers, but also what you can share from others. Depending on the result, it can also help you support the design of a targeted capacity building action plan. It can also just be a way to self-reflect or reset in the organization. So, when to use it? Well, because it's a collaborative and empowering process that gives you a big picture of your organizational health, you can use it at any time you feel the need to do it. Completing the tool with your team members is already a capacity building and team building action in itself. So it's really good to use whenever you feel like you have the need. You will be asked during the Ignite project to complete it once now and also once at the end of the project. Otherwise, the general recommendation is to use it about once a year at a time when you need to do strategic reflection, like when you need to build a yearly plan, for example. Okay. So, who and how long to do the OCAT? So, depending on the size of your team and the size of your organization, the OCAT takes anywhere from 4 to 8 hours of work to complete. You don't have to complete all the sections at once in the same day. You can split it into 2 or 3 different sessions. Although I really recommend that you do not split the OCAT sections, but I will come back on that later. In terms of participants, as you can see from the pyramid on the side, we really want to have a larger representation of staff than senior management and than executive committee or directors and the board. So depending on the size of your organization, it would look like 1 board member if you have a board, 2 people from the executive committee or from the directors level, 3 people from senior management, and at least 4 staff and volunteers. Around 6 to 10 people is a good idea to have in the OCAT. I would not recommend that you have more than 10 people, and always keep the same logic in mind depending on the different levels that you have in your organization. You need to have more people who work like staff and volunteers, and then people who work at higher level positions. It can take a few days for you to decide who will participate, and that's okay. If you are not sure how to build your organizational capacity assessment team, you can send me an email via the help desk, and I will support you in finding the best composition. For the OCAT, I suggest you find a quiet place to hold the assessments with no meetings planned, little distractions or interruption. You should inform the rest of the team what is your plan for that day or for the days that you have planned for the OCAT. I also suggest that you share this video with everyone in your organization and that you watch it together again at the start of the exercise. Okay, so now let's go through the OCAT process together, what it's going to look like from now until the end of the Ignite project. So I suggest you take the next few days to start planning the organizational capacity assessment. You can choose the participants, pick the day or the days, look at this video together again, and inform all of the staff from your organization. Then you will actually do the assessment and use the tool. Use 4 to 8 hours of time in a quiet, dedicated place. If you need for support, there are many ways you can do this. We will come back to it later. You can ask for support in the Q&A sessions or send an email to the help desk. Once you have completed the OCA, you need to send it back to myself, Camille, and the help desk email before April 11th. Once I have received all of the OCATs, I will be able to draft a baseline organizational capacity report with all of the aggregated results and share with you the global trends and the global needs on capacity building. That will come out hopefully by the end of April, early May. Based on that and what has come out as the most needed topics in the organizational capacity assessment, I will draft a capacity building and sharing strategy with a lot of different activities in a variety of forms. It can be in-person or online training, mentoring, one-on-one sessions, webinars, access to a platform, social media groups, WhatsApp groups, communities of practice, lots of different things. This will happen from mid-May until the end of the project. You should receive this early to mid-May. Based on that document, I suggest you build a capacity building action plan. So based on the results of the OCA, you will decide what are your priorities, what you want to work on, and based on the strategy I will share with you, you will decide how you're going to do that, what activities you're going to participate in, etc. I will be sharing with you at that time some action plan templates. Throughout all of these different steps, I really recommend that you communicate on the results with all of your team, with all of your organization. Especially once you've completed the OCAT, it's very important to be transparent and to share the results with everyone and not keep it just to the assessment team. Okay, now that we've looked at the process together, let's get started and look at the tool. This is the tool that you will have received in the email. It will open like this, as an Excel document. If you have any trouble opening the document or figuring out how to save it on your computer, please don't hesitate to reach out on the help desk email. The first thing you should be doing is to save it on your computer with the name of your organization. So you're going to open here, it will say file, mine is in French, save as here. And I suggest that you choose a name at the end with the name of your organization. Okay. And then you save it in a file on your computer. Okay, so the first tab that you will open is the introduction tab here at the bottom left. You should indicate here the name of your organization. I'm just going to write, hello, I'm Camille, and the number of participants. Remember, this should be around 6 to 10 people, so write however many people you are doing the exercise. Here is just a quick reminder of what is the OCAT, why do we use it, and what the OCAT isn't. Here are all the different ways that you can ask for support. One is to refer back to this video, of course. 2 is to send us an email. Please make sure to say Camille question OCAT in the subject line. And 3 is to join the daily Zoom Q&A sessions that we will have from Monday to Friday from April 2nd until the 11th. More on that later. Okay, next is you're going to look at the rest of the document here, as you see, has 7 different tabs. One for each different section or domain: governance, logistics and infrastructure, human resources, organizational culture and management, operations and project management, financial management, and external relations. Let's look at governance together. So each tab will look like this. This is the governance section. It has different subsections. Here you can see it has a vision, mission, and values subsection, legal status, board composition and responsibilities, and so on. For each question that you see here, in column C, you have possible answers. So, you can answer for each question yes or no. You see, if you choose a yes, it will go in green. If you choose no, it will go in red. Now you see here, there is a third choice, NA, for not applicable. Why? Because all of the questions that you will see in this document cover the usual, common, most seen practices of CSOs and organizations in general. But only if you choose that that's a practice that applies to you, that is relevant to your organization. You can choose if that is something you want to have in place or not. If it doesn't apply to you and you don't want it to be something that applies to you and you don't want it to be a goal of yours, you just answer not applicable. You can choose to answer not applicable for an entire section. For example, some smaller organization don't have a board, and that's okay. If you look here, does the organization have a governing or managing body like a board? You can say if it doesn't have one, and if you don't want one, if that's not an objective, you can just say not applicable, and then you answer not applicable to all of the questions that apply to the board, and that's okay. All right, so let me erase that. In case you answer no, every time you're going to answer no, there's a second thing that you have to look at. You can choose to put it on the Ignite wish list. Let me come back to that for a second. Or you can choose to have it as an internal action. Okay, so what is the difference? The Ignite wish list is saying basically, no, we don't have that, or we don't do this practice, but we would like to, and we don't have the internal capacity to do it or to put it in place. So we would like to express a wish that it will be covered in the Ignite capacity building and sharing strategy. You can add it to your wish list and as a request for support. Sometimes when you answer no, it's not really relevant to ask for support of Ignite because it can be something that is very easily addressed internally. For example, let's say the organization has a vision and mission statement. Let's say the vision and mission statement are used to set programmatic priorities. Here is the question, is that vision or mission statement posted or printed where staff and visitors can see it? And is it used in organizational materials like staff handbook, orientation materials? If the answer is no here, then asking it to be on the wish list is not really relevant because there is no training that will guide you in how to just, this is just a matter of printing this mission statement or vision statement and putting it up in an office if you have one, or sharing it with the staff. This is something that can be easily addressed internally. So this is something that you answer no to because it's something that you would actually want. If you don't want it, you can answer non-applicable. If you want it but it's not there, you answer no. Each time you answer no, ask yourself the question, can we address it internally easily? If yes, choose internal action. If you think Ignite can help, then you can choose to put it on the Ignite wish list. Let me give you an example. Let's jump to a question here, for example, of does the organization prepare and share annual progress report with all key stakeholders? Well, maybe your answer is no, and you'd like support because you don't have a template for an annual report. So you can choose to put it on the Ignite wish list and we'll share with you an annual report template. Okay, I hope this is clear. Again, if you have any question, please don't hesitate to reach out. Here, you see there's a column called internal comments. This is mostly for you, internal to the organization. You can add any explanation or real-life example to illustrate your answer. You can also comment on disagreements within the participants or make yourself a memo or a note for the next time that you open this tool and the next time that you use it, or when you will be building your action plan for capacity building. This is just for you, it's internal, it helps you clarify your choice and can help later on when building the action plan, but really it's mainly for your use and it will not be used within Ignite. Okay, so this is the process. Basically, answer all of the questions. Yes, no, or not applicable. If you answer no, then go to the second choice of desired action. Are you going to take internal action, or do you wish to put it on the Ignite wish list? Make sure to answer all questions in all the tabs. There are 239 questions in total. It can seem like a lot, but some of them are very straightforward and it will just take you a few seconds to answer. Don't forget, here in the Human Resources tab, there's a safeguarding section that leads you to a separate safeguarding questionnaire in English, depending on the language that you're using. It automatically goes to the survey on Google Forms, and the answers will be generated separately. Answer that online form with the same people who are filling out the OCAT. As I mentioned before, if you don't have a whole day to dedicate to this, you can definitely choose to split up sections. I don't recommend those stopping in the middle of a section. For example, stopping in the middle of HR. You can choose to do governance, logistics, and HR the first day, organizational, culture and management, operations and finances, and external relations on a second day. Always finish a section before cutting off for the day. Okay, you can also see that there's a results tab. Here, you will see your results for April. It will just make a highlight of how many yes and how many no's you've answered for each category and have a graph for you here. This is for your use. You're welcome to use it. After you're done, make sure to hit save so that you don't lose any changes. And then you can send it back to me and to the help desk email before April 11th. So now that we've seen the tool, just a quick reminder that this is a supportive process. It is to help us at Ignite design a capacity building offer, and it's not an evaluation or a test. If you're unsure about anything, please reach out for support, which we'll be looking at right now. But also be sure to remember it's okay not to be strong in every area. That's exactly the point of doing this. Okay, so what happens if you need support or if you have any questions? There are two ways you can get support during this process to help you fill out the tool. One is to send an email to the help desk email. You can do that anytime, and I will make sure to answer as quickly as possible. Please make sure to put Camille question OCAT in the subject line. The second way you can get support is to join a Q&A question and answers session on Zoom. So these will happen every business day from April 2nd to April 11th, which is the last day you need to send the OCAT back. I suggest that you take from now to the 2nd to plan the assessment, etc., and plan the exercise on one of the days where there's a Q&A session, so that if you have any issue or if you have any questions, you can jump on the call. You don't need to respond to an invitation. You don't need to ask. You can just join by clicking on the link. If you want to look at the hours, the days, the times, and the link of the Zoom, you have to go to the online support page. The link is shared in the email that was sent with this presentation and the tool. So a kind of reminder that all the ways you can get support are also detailed in the introduction tab of the OCAT. Okay, so I think we've covered everything. Thank you so much for watching this tutorial. We hope the OCAT process is helpful, inspiring, and practical for your organization. Take your time, involve your team, and enjoy the process of growing your organization's capacity. See you soon.